Welcome to the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you take the first steps on your fitness journey. Whether you're new to working out or you're looking to get back into it, we've got you covered with tips, tricks, and inspiration to help you reach your goals. So grab your workout gear and let's get started. All right, we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mack to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast. Happy Friday. Hope you all had a great week this week. Hope you got outside, got some sunlight, moved your body, was being active, did something positive to work towards your goals this week. That's the plan each and every week. Get 1% better, and eventually you'll achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Today, we got a pretty interesting topic. It probably won't be a very long podcast today, but I still wanted to get on here and drop some value for y'all so that y'all can take some from this and apply it into your everyday life and routine. But first, y'all already know I got to update y'all about myself. Tomorrow, going to the Auburn Ole Miss game. So I'm looking forward to it. I haven't been to a game this year yet. This will be the only one I go to probably. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can pull the upset, come out with the dub. But oh well, we're kind of struggling this year, so I'm not getting my hopes up by no means. But yeah, still Ironman training. Got to get up and do a quick 2-hour ride in the morning. I'm only today marks 15 days away. I'm 15 days, so basically 2 weeks till the big day, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. If we're being honest, I'm kind of getting tired of doing all the training because it's been a lot. I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm getting a little burnt out on it, but I'm excited because I'm only 2 weeks away now, so I'm looking forward to it. After the race, I'm definitely gonna take some break from all the cardio. I'm gonna get back into the gym and start lifting some weights again. That's the plan for right now. Probably gonna keep running into my routine because I've kind of grown to like running a little bit. So I'm probably gonna keep that in my routine. I don't know much about the biking or the swimming. I definitely ain't gonna be swimming, that's for sure. Screw swimming. That junk's trash. But no, I'm just kidding. It really ain't that bad, but it's hard. It's tough. So I don't see myself continuing to do that in the future. But we'll see. So that brings us to the quick tip of the podcast today. And my quick tip for today is just try to get your cardio in what I would call unconventional ways. So when most people think of cardio, they think of running, walking, a stair climber, an elliptical, things like that. Yeah, those are good traditional ways to do cardio and they're very effective. But that's not the only way to do cardio. There's several other ways you can get your cardio in that is necessarily unconventional. What a way that I like to look at it is like playing with your kids outside. That's kind of a form of cardio. You get outside, throwing the football, baseball, running around in the yard with them, going outside, playing with your dog, take your dog for a walk, or throwing the ball back and forth to your dog out in the yard. This is ways you can get outside and move your body. And you get in cardio without realizing it because it's not a conventional way to do cardio. You can also do other things like jump roping, throwing a frisbee back and forth, even go swimming if you've never been swimming. That's a really good form of cardio. Hosting a dance party, doing something crazy like that. Use the stairs instead of using the elevator. These are all easy, like unconventional ways that you don't necessarily think are working out or doing cardio, but there are extra ways that you can get some cardio in without even working out. So yeah, that was the quick tip for today. I'm actually thinking about changing up some of my different segments of my podcast. I don't know. I may play around with a few different ones to see which ones I like, which ones I don't like, but we'll see. I'm running out of quick tips if we're being honest. It's kind of hard to come up with something new every week, but I don't know. I'm thinking about doing like some kind of news, like fitness news, kind of have an update on what's going on in the fitness world, any new trends, fads, any new articles or scientific studies that come out, things like that. I may keep y'all updated on something like that, or I don't know. We're gonna come up with something. If you have a good idea, let me know. Shoot me a DM. Let me know of a good idea you got, and hey, maybe we can fit it in the podcast. But we'll see. So today's podcast topic is about Being more selfish. Like, you need to be more selfish. I know when everybody thinks of the word selfish, they think of it in a negative way. You don't want to, people don't want to seem selfish. They don't want to be selfish because it has that negative kind of vibe to it. But it's not always a bad thing, especially when it comes to your health and your fitness. Honestly, I think you need to be more selfish. Like, I feel like people put other people first a lot before they put themselves first. And yes, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this topic, but hey, it's my podcast. I can talk about what I want. But if you don't agree, hey, let's talk it out. Hit me with the DM or something, and maybe we can hash out the topic. And that way we can kind of go back and forth and see each other's side of the story. But when it comes to being selfish, like, I even mean put yourself before your kids, put yourself before your spouse. Like, you should come first. You should be the number one. I always say, this is what I like to say. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. Like, how you gonna take care of somebody else when you can't even take care of yourself first? So that's why I always say you should be number one. You're the number one priority. Your health comes first, and that's mentally, physically, spiritually. You're number one, and then everybody else comes after. So you need to start being more selfish and put yourself first when it comes to these things. But we're gonna talk about some ways on how to kind of reshape your mind about the term selfishness, and then also some ways that you can actually be more selfish to put yourself first when it comes to just day-to-day activities. So first, getting into it, we want to rethink the meaning of selfishness. So think of selfishness as investing time and investing energy into yourself, into your fitness journey, into your health. So you gotta shed that guilt. You can't feel guilty because you're being selfish. I mean, yeah, when it comes to certain things, being selfish, you may feel a little guilty. But when it comes to your health, mentally, physically, spiritually, you can't just get rid of that guilt because you don't need it. Like, you should be number one. You should not feel bad about trying to take care of yourself, period. If somebody's going to say something about you putting your health first, then they probably don't have your best interest in you anyway. So, somebody you probably really shouldn't be hanging out with. Your own health and well-being is nothing to feel guilty about, period. So you got to rethink that meaning of selfishness. It's not always a negative thing. It can be used for beneficial reasons. So next, you want to set boundaries for your fitness journey. So it's very, very important to do this. You need to carve out dedicated time for your exercise, for your meal prepping, for your self care activities. You need to set out these times. Like, put these times on your calendar and stick to it just like you would at work. You got times at work when you got a meeting or you have an event you got to go to. Well, working out, meal prepping, self-care stuff, this should all be on that calendar just like you would go to work. And don't miss it. Like, it's just part of it. And you need to respect that. You need to communicate this with your family, with your friends, your colleagues, coworkers, whoever. And they need to know that you have this time set aside for the gym, and at that time you're going to the gym. And don't let everybody else should respect that and not bother you when you're going to the gym or trying to get you to change your schedule to do something else. I mean, yeah, there's certain situations where you'll need to kind of adjust your schedule some, like in emergency situations and things like that. But if it's not an emergency, if it's just a day-to-day thing, then hey, that thing can wait. Like, you can go to the gym, you can do the other thing later. Don't let nobody ruin your routine or your schedule for that day. They need to respect that. And I don't care if they're your friend, family, spouse, whatever. You need that support from these people. These people should actually be encouraging you to do those things, to take care of yourself first. So watch out who your friends are. And then next, you need to embrace a personalized approach to fitness. So you need to tailor your fitness routines, your diet habits, your needs, your preferences, tailor them to yourself rather than like conforming to societal expectations, trends, standards, things like that. Those don't always work for everybody. Figure out what works for you and stick to that. Like, try to personalize it the best you can. My schedule is more than likely not going to work for you, and it's not going to work for the next person, and vice versa. So I'm not going to try to conform to your schedule or society's schedules or how they do things. I'm gonna figure out what works for me, and I'm gonna stick to that. And that's what you need to do. You need to understand your own body, your own unique requirements, because everybody's different, and what however you can make sustainable and fulfilling fitness goals. This is what you need to do. So figure out what works for you. Respect your own body. Respect your own schedule, your routine, and just you got to make it work. I know sometimes it can be hard, but hey, you may have to wake up an hour earlier and go to the gym in the morning. You may have to spend an extra hour or 2 on Sunday meal prepping your food, but it's a short-term payment that you have to pay for the long-term benefits. I promise you, if you take that extra hour in the morning to go work out each morning, the benefit it's gonna have in the long run is gonna outweigh that short-term time payment that you had to do each morning, that hour earlier that you had to wake up to go to the gym. It's gonna be well worth it. So next, you need to cultivate a self-care mindset. So you need to start incorporating some self-care practices. So like meditation, making sure you're getting a good amount of rest, stress management, maintain physical and mental well-being throughout your fitness journey. I mean, it's kind of obvious here, but these are things that I think are important besides just working out, besides just eating healthy. The recovery is important. The self-care, like making sure your mind is right, the mental side of things as well is very important. So try to incorporate some of these self-care practices into your routine. Yeah, maybe you don't do it every day, but something that you can do pretty consistently throughout your week, it'll pay off in the long run. I actually kinda have, like, a little morning routine that I do myself that kinda it gets me up and gets me going for the day. It gets my mind on the right track, gets my body physically on the right track. So, I wake up super early in the morning at 4 o'clock, and I have a little routine that I go to, I do my normal thing, brush my teeth, things like that. Then I'll journal, I'll meditate, I do a little, scripture app thing on my phone, do and pray, and then I'll go to the gym. And that's my morning routine. Like I have it laid out time. Well, not really about time slot, but I do it in the order and I do that every day and that gets me going. So by the time I get to work, I've already got all that knocked out. Like I'm ready for the day. I got my mind right, got my body right. I'm awake. I ain't super tired when I get to work because I just woke up. And that works for me. It may not work for you, but that's what I do, and that's what I like to do because it gets me ready for the day. It gets me set up to have a successful day and get ready to knock out whatever the world's going to throw at me that day. So figure out what works for you. Create your routine, and you don't have to do all this at once. Literally, just add one thing. Add one thing. Do that one thing for a month, maybe 2 months or whatever, and then once you get consistent with it and it's second nature, then add something else, add one other thing, and then over time you can keep just stacking and stacking and stacking. Eventually, you'll have it all figured out. Honestly, I'm still doing it. I'm still changing up my routine, still adding things, taking away things, changing up how I do things. I don't know. I play around with it, see what I like, see what it works, see what don't work. And hey, don't be afraid to change the plan. You can all if the plan don't work, you can change the plan, but never change the goal. That's the key. And then next, you want to overcome that guilt and external pressures that you get from being so-called selfish. There's guilt when you start prioritizing your personal fitness goals over other commitments. We kind of hit on this a little bit already, but like even as crazy as it sounds, but like you should put your own health and fitness health, like your mental and physical health, even over your kids' health. I know that sounds crazy, and y'all, if you're a mother and you're listening to this, you're like, "There's no way I would do any and everything for my kid," and I understand that. I get that, but yeah, you may be doing that now, but 10 years down the road, when you're unhealthy laying in a hospital bed on your deathbed because you didn't take care of your health, you ain't gonna be able to take care of your kid then. So do the work now so that you can be there for the rest of your kid. Well, not for the rest of your kid's life, but you can be there for longer. Like you're not, when you're 65 and you got grandkids, you can get out in the yard and play with them because you're still healthy and you're able to move and you're not in a wheelchair just because you got old and you never took care of your health, or you got some kind of health related problems like diabetes or something to that effect. Setting yourself up now will prevent those measures in the long term. Fitness goal is all grand scheme of things. It's not now. Like, you're not going to see fitness results now. You're going to see them in the long run down the road. So you got to prepare yourself for that. I don't know. That's just how I look at it. I want to be in shape when I'm 65 years old. Like, I want to be able to get outside, run around, move my body, not crippled over, pain everywhere, double knee replacements. You know how, because people just sit on the couch and do nothing and eat potato chips nowadays. And that's what leads to health problems down the road. That's why people have high blood pressure and all these other things with nowadays. Simply working out, being healthy over time can prevent a lot of this. So yeah, don't feel guilty because you're taking care of yourself. Take care of yourself first, and then taking care of everybody else should come pretty easy. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for being selfish. It's not always a bad thing. It can be used to your benefit. It's a good thing, and you should be more selfish when it comes to your health, your mental well-being, and things like that. So don't let society tell you otherwise. Don't say. I know online we always see that, hey, your kids come first. You should do anything for your kids, and I agree. I think you should, but you should do anything for them after you've already taken care of yourself. If that makes sense. I know a lot of you probably won't agree with me on this one, but that's how I look at it. I know I don't have kids now, and my mindset may change once I have kids, but I've already developed these habits and routines now, so that I already know when I have a kid, like, it's going to be easy for me to continue doing them and take care of myself while also taking care of my kid. Yeah, I may have to change up my routine, obviously, because you know, kids and stuff don't sleep as well and all that, but I'm still gonna get it done. Like, I've already embedded these habits into my brain, so I don't ever see myself stopping. But yeah, that's what I think about being selfish. Be a little more selfish. Take care of yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Do not feel guilty about taking care of yourself. Make sure your friends and family respect your decision that you're gonna prioritize your health. Like, don't let them change your routine up. Don't not go to the gym that day because somebody wants you to go out to eat with them. No, if you got that time set aside to go to the gym, you go to the gym during that time, unless it's an emergency. It's the only time you can switch it up. That's my takeaways from today's podcast. I encourage y'all to embrace a self care mindset, prioritize your fitness goals unapologetically. Do not apologize. That's all about you. Be more selfish, and it can have a very big impact on your life and your overall well being and your quality of life. And honestly, it'll probably impact every other little thing in your life down the road. It's like a little train effect after that. So that's it for the podcast today. And then that brings us to the fitness quote of the podcast. And today's podcast is, this one's kind of funny, but it makes a lot of sense. And it goes, "You don't get the butt you want by sitting on it." I'll say it again. You don't get the butt you want by sitting on it. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't get up and do something, you ain't gonna get the results. Period. Like, there's not much to this quote. It's so simple, but it's so powerful at the same time. You gotta actually put the work in to get the results. You can't be mad at the results you didn't get from the work that you didn't do. I think that's a pretty common quote, but I like that one a lot too. But it goes hand in hand with this quote right here. If you never have bench pressed in your life, you're not gonna go into the gym and be able to bench press 315 pounds. It's just not gonna happen because you never did it. You never put in the work to get those results. So you can't be mad about that. Like, and that goes with anything in life. You can't get that promotion at work from just showing up to work and doing the bare minimum every day. You gotta do a little extra. You gotta go above and beyond if you want to get that promotion. That's just how it works. You will not get the results if you simply don't put the work in, period. And that's just how life works. and when it comes to anything. So yeah, that's what I think about the quote. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today for the podcast. I appreciate it. If you like the podcast, please leave a review, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow me on on all my social medias. It's Murphy Mac Fit on pretty much everything. Or you can find me at Murphy McCammon on Facebook. And yeah, if y'all got any podcast topics you want me to talk about, y'all let me know and we'll do it on here. That way y'all can learn. Hope y'all took something from the podcast today. Tell your friends about it. Let them so they can learn something too. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend. And hopefully we can get Auburn get the dub this weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, peace, love, protein. We out. Thanks for tuning in to the Fitness Beginner Podcast. We hope you found today's episode helpful and inspiring. Remember to always start small, set realistic goals, and most importantly, have fun. Don't forget to tune in next week for more tips and advice on how to kickstart your fitness journey. Until then, stay active and stay healthy.